Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on September the 29th, 2021. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So in terms of what's going on in the market today, a couple of major things happened here. So we heard from ECB President Lagarde. So ECB is basically one of the things they mentioned was that they may not extend the purchase programs, asset purchase program. So they said all the things that are ones that are expiring may not be reinvested again. So that is positive for euro, and we saw euro go up as a result of that. On the other hand, we heard from a lot of Fed members here, and overall, basically, Fed still pushing forward with November date. So they'll start tapering in November, and then we will see or the expectation right now is what was mentioned today was 2 interest rate hikes in 2022. All of that is very bullish, and we saw the US dollar go up as a result of that. Another thing we have seen today that was interesting right now that's impacting the markets, we saw a risk-off environment in the market. Partly that was due to Democrats and Republicans not coming to an agreement on the debt ceiling. So they need to raise the debt ceiling basically by October 18th. So currently the bill was blocked in Senate, and as a result of that, it has created a lot of risk-off environment in the market, and we saw the stock market drop sharply because of this this risk that they may not actually work with the Democrats on this, and if the debt ceiling is not raised, the government can default on the debt, which is a huge deal, which hasn't happened so far. Every time, even when President Obama was in place, President Trump, every time they have raised the debt ceiling, but the concern is with Democrats and Republicans being so at ends, it just creates this extra concern. So we will keep an eye on that, but all in all, that was negative for the stock market, and hence we have seen a big drop in the stock market. And this is where we saw the US dollar go up as well, because it's so the money flows from the stock market to the US dollar, and US dollar tends to be the safe haven as well. Coming up on Wednesday here, we have more central bankers. We have ECB President Lagarde speaking again. She will be again. So we have actually 4 of them here. So we have ECB President Lagarde, Bank of England, Bank of Japan, and Fed Chair Powell. All of them will be speaking tomorrow. So they are participating in virtual panel discussion around policy. So this is where we have to be careful again. Anytime there's central bankers speaking, it can have an impact on the market. It can create volatility in the market. And then again, we will see how it plays out between Democrats and Republicans. All of that will be things that will impact the market. So we'll keep an eye on that. Other than that, we have PMI numbers for China, but those are the main things where we will be keeping an eye on the market. All right, so let's go on to our charts here. We'll start off with euro dollar. So euro held its own. And if you take a look at the 1-hour chart, we will see that there was a spike here because of the ECB comment. So we did see a big spike all the way into 1.1700 level, and this is where it went up and went down, and a lot of and that had to do with the ECB basically saying that the asset purchase program may not get extended, the things may not be, or the money may not be invested automatically. So that was bullish for euro. Now, we talked about this yesterday. Price is right into that support that we had looked at. So this is a major support where price hasn't gone through this level since 2020. And now we are back here again. Last time price was here, it pushed up. And this is the critical level to watch now. So at this point, we are neutral here. So price has been stuck in our in the range here between 1.1750 and 1.1665. At this point, in order for, so two options. One, we may see a retest of 1.165 and then price goes back into the range and it still stays range bound. So that's one option. Other option is if US dollar continues to be strong, so bond yields are going up and which is pushing the US dollar higher. So if we see the US dollar continue to go up, that will mean that basically everything will drop against the US dollar, in which case the euro may drop as well. And next target then is 1.1600. So neutral to bearish bias, but this one may be more difficult than pound, for example. So neutral to bearish bias, next target here is 1.1600. Pound dollar, quite a drop here for the pound. Price was trading in a range, came right into that resistance, or didn't quite make it to the resistance, but overall it held that slight downward trend that was there over the last few days here. And now we see price has gone through the support level. This was a big support level. It broke right through it. In this case, quite an inefficient move, but bias is bearish in this case as well. Watch out for pullback here as well. And in this case, potential pullback levels that we're looking at is 1.3570 or 1.3600. But overall, bearish bias here. And the next target here we're looking at is 1.3520. And below that, we have 1.3450. So bearish bias for pound as well. So the move that I'm anticipating here would be something like this, pullback, and then a drop, or we may get a deeper pullback all the way into 1.3600, and then a retest of that level and a drop from there. So, but overall bearish bias here for pound dollar. Aussie dollar, this as well went right into the top of the range and price dropped from there. As we can see, couldn't maintain. So here we are back into the bottom of the range. So last time price was here, last two times price, or few times actually, I should say, price was here, it bounced back up. So that's what we need to watch out for. And now if the US dollar continues to strengthen, if the bond yields continue going up, so in this case we would be looking for a break to the downside here. So overall bias is still to the downside. So we have we had a drop, consolidation, and then we could see another drop here. So that will be our continuation pattern. So overall, bearish bias here. Do watch out for the support. If it doesn't go through, we are back into the range like it's done several times here. But next target is 0.7120, back into the support level here. So bearish bias for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar, this one dropped here, dropped as well. Just like all the other crosses. And next target is 0.6930. And then below that, 0.6900. So bearish bias for New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD has been back and forth as well. It dropped initially and then it bounced back up. With this here, again, it will be a play on, this one has two things that's going on. One is the oil price. And the second one is the US dollar. So this I am neutral on. This one's been sideways here and it could stay sideways. So watch out for that. It may just become a sideways move here. It was sideways in the same range previously, and now it could get stuck here again. So should it go through the resistance, then we are basically looking for a move back higher. But the main level to watch here would be the resistance at 1.2700. As long as it stays below, then we're looking for a support at 1.2600. So neutral bias here for dollar CAD. I'm expecting a range-bound move. All right, let's take a look at our commodities now, starting off with silver. Silver is still range-bound here. Price has been stuck over the last few days. It's been stuck in the sideways range here. So 22 is the level to watch here. And again, just like it bounced off today and a couple days ago and previously, so this is where we may see a bounce off of the support once again. In that case, we're looking for a range-bound move between 22.85 and 22.00. Now, should it go through, because this is a major support, once it gets through, though, we have a lot of room to the downside. First target is 21.63 and then 21.30. So bearish, neutral to bearish bias here for silver. Gold here, gold making nice stair step to the downside. We are seeing a drop, pullback, drop, pullback, drop, pullback, and now we're looking for another drop here. So bearish bias for gold. And in this case, looking for 1724 and then 1718. So bearish bias for gold here. So basically looking for a further move to the downside back into the support level. Oil here, oil, big drop for oil today. Right off of the resistance, price had gone up and now we are into, or we are seeing a bounce off of that resistance. So this looks bearish here. So we may see a bit more of a drop here. In this case, the target, the first target that we have is 72.85. So bias is bearish, and then 71.60. So bearish bias for oil. Copper also looking bearish. We saw a bounce off of the top of the range here. It's become range bound and now looking for a move lower here into 4.15, and this is where it could again go back into the range. So bearish bias for copper, 4.15 is the target. Bitcoin suffering with the stock market. It is tumbling along with the stock market here. First target is 40,000 and then second target is 37,500. So bearish bias for Bitcoin as well. And this is following a similar pattern that we saw in gold. We have a drop, pullback, drop, pullback, and now we're looking for drop and then pullback and drop. So basically bearish bias here for Bitcoin. 40,000 and then 37,500 is the next target. S&P 500, we did have a bearish pin bar and today was quite a drop here for S&P 500. Next target here is 4330 and then 4300. So bearish bias for S&P 500. Nasdaq here, Nasdaq also looking bearish. We were looking for a drop, but that was quite a drop here. So next target here is, so we may get a pullback here. Next target is 14,700 and then 14,500. So bearish bias for Nasdaq as well. And same thing here for Dow Jones. Bias is bearish here as well. Looking for a bit of a pullback and then a drop. 34,150 is the first target. And then below that, we are looking at 33,865. So bearish bias again for Dow Jones as well. DAX here, same thing, quite a drop here. All the stock markets tumbling today. Next target here is 15,130 and then 15,000. So bearish bias for DAX as well. And then same thing for FTSE, bearish bias here. And next target is 69.70. And then beyond that, we are looking at 69.35. So bearish bias for FTSE as well. And then last but not least, we have Nikkei. Nikkei dropped here. We did have a bearish candle close, but that was quite a drop. Next target here, 29,400. There was a gap to the downside. So a lot of volatility in the market right now. So 29,400 and 29,270 are the next two targets here. So bearish bias for Nikkei as well. So overall, I would expect volatility in the market. We need to keep an eye on the news and see what's going on from the US perspective, as well as we have in China, the real estate firm that is defaulting as well. So Chinese government has asked them not to default on the US debt, but should there be a default, then we have a bigger issue in the market. So basically the risk off environment can really take a hold in there. So we'll keep an eye Hopefully the government won't shut down in the US, and then we won't have a default from the real estate firm either. So that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful trading day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.